I'm Sharon Betters, and I'm the author of Treasures of Encouragement Women Helping Women. And I am so grateful that you are interested in reading Treasures of Encouragement and maybe studying it with a small group. If you are in a small group and you haven't discovered the Leader's Guide, I hope you'll check it out. You can find more information and a link to buy it on this website, treasuresofencouragement.org. If you have been kind of browsing through the book, then you know that there are two sections. The first section, the first 6 chapters, are called Thinking Biblically, and the second 6 chapters are called Living Biblically. Throughout the book, there are many, many practical examples of biblical encouragement, but it's my thought that we need to understand why we do what we do. I'm pretty good at New Year's resolutions of making a list, but if I don't have a good reason for doing it, if I don't understand why I'm doing this particular discipline, then I'm probably not going to stick with it. But when we understand the reasons behind biblical encouragement and how our identity as God's daughters equip us to be biblical encouragers, and how biblical encouragement is so intertwined with our personal relationship to Jesus, well, that's going to make a difference in the way that you practically encourage others. And so I hope that you will really soak in those first 6 chapters, especially where we talk about identity. Martha really had to struggle with this. The story of Martha and Mary. Jesus gently helped her see herself as his daughter, that what she did is not what made her important or gave her identity, but whose she was, and she belonged to Jesus. And then later in the book, we're going to talk about Deborah and how she is just an incredible example of biblical encouragement. I especially love what she says in Judges when she says, "Village life ceased until I, Deborah, a mother in Israel, arose." That is such a powerful picture for each of us. We can look around our own villages and our own homes and those we have connections with, and we can say, there's something ceasing here. Life is ceasing here. How can I be a life giver? And we learn specifically how to do that through prayer, through the scripture, and through community. And so as you dig in, especially look at the questions at the end of each chapter. They will help you dig deeper into how these truths apply to your own personal life. There'll be some challenges there. And if you're in a small group, I hope that you'll let me know how you make out with your group encouragement ministry. In the Leader's Guide, I talk a lot about it, where at our church, there was a group called the Blues Busters, and they stepped into our lives. It was an anonymous group, and they encouraged us in one of the darkest times of our life in such a brilliant and special way. I'll never forget them. And so I encourage each small group to have this kind of ministry throughout the Bible study. Pick your own name, but please, I hope that you will let me know how you are doing, some of your ideas. I'd love to include them on the website, and what kind of response you're getting. I honestly believe that as we practice biblical encouragement through the identity we have as his daughters, we can change the tenor of church life, of our homes, of our neighborhoods, of our communities. And one last thought, in the back of the book, there are extra encouragement ideas, more encouragement stories, and also an index of the scriptures that are running throughout the book. And, some people say, I don't want to do a topical study. I want to do a Bible study. And that means study a book of the Bible. And frankly, I get that. And I absolutely believe that that is critical and important. But just to reassure you that Treasures of Encouragement is a Bible study, the publisher compiled a list of all the scriptures that are throughout this little book, and there are hundreds of them. They are categorized by book. So if you remember, where was that verse in the Psalms, you can check it out in the index, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. So check out those scriptures, just to reassure you that this definitely is a Bible study. And then one more thing that I think about this culture and how mean-spirited and hostile our culture is. And sadly, that hostility has crept into our churches. So perhaps it's a really good time to be studying biblical encouragement and practicing the call, listening to the call, the exhortation, not an option for children of God, but but an act of obedience to step out and offer to others life-giving actions, life-giving words, rather than life-taking. I guarantee you, as we practice biblical encouragement, something amazing is going to happen. In our hearts, we think we're doing it for somebody else, but in our hearts as well as the one we are encouraging. So I pray for you to enjoy the study. I pray God will use it in a profound way in your life. And I really do hope that you let me know how the study is impacting you. Send me your encouragement ideas. I'd love to post them at treasuresoфencouragement.org. Again, I'm Sharon Batters. Thank you so much for giving me these few minutes.